You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, Mother's Day is around the corner, and let me talk to you about 1-800-Flowers. I can't wait. Every year to tradition, I send stuff to my mother, my mother-in-law, and my wife because they are three amazing moms. They're better than all your moms out there. You think you have good moms? No, I have good moms in my life. I'm just kidding. This was a little harsh. I'm sure you guys all have good moms too. From your mom to the mother of your children and all the moms in between, this Mother's Day, give back to the ones that have given you everything. 1-800-Flowers helps you celebrate all amazing moms, from homemade bouquets, sweet treats, gourmet food, and one-of-a-kind gifts, ordered easily and delivered fresh. For a limited time, you can save up to 40% off Mother's Day bestsellers at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. Don't wait. Order today and save up to 40% at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Barkley, SAB the CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings,
Why are you listening to this show?
the podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Lebitard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
There he is. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that face.
Doggy
my boys.
Look at him.
Doggy on a Thursday.
Look at him. He is delighted. His hair looks like he just rolled out of bed. What the hell is happening? You seem and look crazed at all times, but never more so than right now when it looks like your hair's trying to get away from you.
And my makeup person, Danny, hasn't shown up yet. I got the baseball show in an hour, so she'll be here at 10:15. If I knew I needed my hair done for you guys, I would have had it here at 9:30. But here I am, raring to go. And I'm better with the hair crazy anyway. It makes me crazy, which is better radio. How things going? Things good?
Excellent. We are always happy to see you. The MLB Network show he's talking about is High Heat. Every week he's on First Take, and he headlines, of course, Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM, including Mad Dog Unleash, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. He's a pioneer in this industry, practically can be credited with inventing the industry.
He did invent the industry, Dan.
And here he is today with New York mattering in basketball the way it hasn't in a long time. Can you explain to the audience the link between Knicks basketball and that city, and why, because it's in the city, it seems like that city loves that team more than any other when it does this? It just hasn't given it many chances to feel the way that it does today.
Excellent point. You hit it right on the head. I mean, that 69-70 Knick team is one of the famous teams in New York in all the sports. I put the Jets in there the year they beat the Colts. I put maybe the probably the 96 Yankees, who surprised everybody, maybe the 86 Mets, but that 69-70 Knick team, with Frazier, DeBusschere, Bradley, Reed, and Barnett was a much paleo team, and everybody loved them. The basketball in New York, obviously, the original franchise in the mid-'40s. This was a great college basketball town for a long time. That kind of went away with CCNY, with the scandals there in 50 and 51 when they won the NCAA and the NIT in the same year, but obviously, cheated because the points shaving scenario. And then the NBA, hit the forefront. Knicks were bad for the first 20, 25 years. Then they drafted Frazier. They drafted Willis from Grambling. Holtzman was the head coach. And they had that 4 or 5 year run there where they were great. Then they were bad for a long time. Then they won a lottery with Ewing. Then Riley came in. Riley, for the 4 years, he was superb. Everybody loved Riley, lost to Game 7 at Houston. And then Van Gundy had a great run too. But for the most part, it's been very sporadic Knicks success. But this team, in the last couple of years, everybody loves Brunson. Rosen did a great job. The general manager, Leon Rose, did a great job. It was a Rosen or Rose, whatever his name is, did a great job.
It's Rose, doggy. Don't worry. Just keep going.
A superb job by Thibodeau. DiVincenzo, people love him. Josh Hart is a tremendous Villanova player who loose balls, hustles, offensive rebounds. Hartenstein. I mean, this is the kind of a Knick team they love. Yep. They would prefer defense over offense. They like the scrappy instead of the finesse. And this is kind of what you see here as far as this Knick team is concerned. And now listen, the Knicks are not the football. It's not the NFL. I understand that. It's the NBA, it's not the NFL. It's not Jets or Giants. But this is, everybody's totally in love with the ball club. I mean, and every game they play is a close game. That's the other thing. They never get blown out, and they never blow anybody else out. So there's always high drama at Madison Square Garden. Think of the 7 playoff games they played so far to date. Obviously the 6 or the 8 now, 6 and the 2. Every game has been a tremendous game. There's some drama, some comebacks. Knicks, these 2 fourth quarters here in this series against the Pacers. The Sixers series with the calls at the end of the game, 2 when they didn't have foul calls and Maxey lost the ball.
All right, Mad Dog, I'm going to cut you off here because I need to cut him off just real quick because Jeremy, Jessica, and Chris all just said in my ear, what the just happening? Because there's been a
WFAT. There's been history.
This is Chris. I'm going to tell you.
Cook.
I will let him cook. I will let him cook in a second. Cook some more in a second because we're going through the whole history of this. But I've seen this happen to Stephen A. Smith, and I've seen it happen to Max Kellerman. You get on First Take, and he's been doing radio for years. But you get specifically on First Take, and you got 45 minutes of news, but you got to talk for 2 hours. All of a sudden, you're a hijacker. You're somebody who can't stop talking. You're somebody who revs. Tell me I'm wrong. Russo, tell me I'm wrong.
You're right.
No, doggy, he's wrong.
No, he is the greatest, but everyone here was expecting him at some point to stop talking, and he wouldn't.
No, Dan, that was a great history lesson. My grandpa was actually the manager of one of those teams that played CCNY in 1951. Wow. He would have been 102 this year.
Oh, my God. How about that? They beat Kentucky and they had DePaul. I mean, they did a great job. They won. They beat Bradley in both title games. Anyway, to make a long story short, the fascination with the Knick crowd likes this kind of team. Hustle, feisty, offensive rebounds, play good defense. Brunson's a little guard. Everybody is shocked how well he has played. That was a tremendous move by Rose, bringing him in here with a great contract. And this is a fun team. Now, I think they're going to get mauled by the Celtics when we get there. But I thought they beat Indiana in 7. Now it's probably going to be a little earlier than that. I thought they beat Philly. There's something about the team. Danny. There's something about the team.
Dog, I'm trying not to get caught up in the moment, but I have Jalen Brunson as the greatest Knick of all time. Do you agree?
No, he's not.
What?
I mean,
what?
He's not better than Frazier. He's not better than Reed. You can't put him ahead of, obviously, Ewing. That's 3. He's not Dave DeBusschere. That's 4. What? But, you can make an argument anywhere after the 4th one, you can put Brunson in there. You can make that argument.
But wait a minute, though. These stats, are you not allowing, I guess, because of the modern game being so different? Because what Brunson has done, those playoff performances are unprecedented in Knicks history. There's no such thing.
But remember, the other guys I've given you, they were in finals. I mean, Ewing was in a final. Obviously, DeBusschere, Bradley, DeBusschere, Frazier, and Reed won 2 championships. He's only won 2 playoff rounds. You're right, the 40-point thing is phenomenal, but I'm looking at it from the team and the big picture of what the team did. If Knicks go win a championship, we can put Brunson 1. But he's doing this in the second round of the postseason, so that's why that top 4, guys, is tricky. DeBusschere, Clyde, Reed, and Ewing. I mean, geez, that's a hard top 4 to crack. DeBusschere was a tremendous Knick. He was the missing piece with the Howard Comey's trade. He was the missing ingredient that fit like a glove with that Knick team that won 2 titles. I can't put Brunson over DeBusschere. That's not fair. DeBusschere averaged 18 points a game and guarded the best offensive player on the other team, and they won 2 titles. I can't put Brunson over him. That's not fair.
You mentioned, first of all, great talking to you as always. Dog, you're mentioning some great all-time Knicks. A bunch of them sit in the front row for these games. Some of them I feel like maybe should be more like the second or the third row. Like Stephon Marbury, teams were terrible. Marbury gets front row at the Garden. Come on.
Good point.
Come on.
I would love. First of all, that's the highest honor when Chris Russo tells you made a good point.
Yep.
But do you realize that if you talk to him the way that you talk, which is like him, and you guys got into an argument, it would seem like you two were arguing with a mirror?
I don't want to argue with Dog. I agree with everything he says. That's my guy. I'm not going to argue with Dog. What are you talking about here?
For the sake of radio,
right. Let's take it easy. I'm not always right.
Yes, you are, Dog.
But listen, you want to put Brunson fifth? Go ahead. You can put him fifth.
Thank you.
I can't put him fourth
Appreciate
yet.
it,
And listen, the Pacers are going to have some moments in this series. They'll bounce back some. I'm down on Carlisle. What, are you going to send 78 film clips to New York, to the NBA office because of calls? When you blew a 9-point lead in game 1 and a 12-point lead in game 2, and now you're going to send clips and you're going to talk about small market, big market? The Spurs won 5 championships. What, is San Antonio a big market all of a sudden? That was weak. That was very weak. And the Knicks fans going to love picking on Carlisle now. The Pacers, if the Pacers are going to be honest with themselves, they should have won one of these 2 games, for crying out loud. They should have won one of these 2.
Doggy, you're absolutely right. By the way, it was Duquesne, and I think my grandpa might have been the only Italian man there who wasn't point shaving. But I enjoy the history lesson, and I think maybe our audience would like to put it in context of maybe just the last 20 years, because I think you're going a little too far back here with your comps. Jalen Brunson is the best Knicks player since when?
I'll say since Ewing has that. That's fair. We'll live with that one.
But look, but we're going to put on the screen, see if you can see this here. You're telling me that this was better than Jalen Brunson. I just want to be...
on that guy. God, hairy arms.
Be fair.
Where's his bicep?
Did you know when Julius Erving was a Net, and the first day of the merger, the Knicks and the Nets played an exhibition game, which is a big deal, in New York, and do you know that DeBusschere completely shut Julius Erving down?
Yeah.
DeBusschere was great. Yeah. Now, listen, it's a little too far back. I get it. Mm-hmm. So we'll put Brunson since the early 90s. And nobody loves Riley more than me. And those Knick teams are rugged. Oakley, Mason, Ewing, Starks, Derek Harper, Anthony. Those are rugged teams. Xavier McDaniel. We love those teams in New York. And I'm not a Knick fan, but the fan loves those teams. And let's face it, I mean, they probably came as close as you can come to winning a championship. They lost to Game 7. They played the Bulls in a Game 7. Remember one thing about the Bulls? Bulls played 2 Game 7s, Jordan did, in his career in the postseason when he won. Not when he lost to Detroit, when he won. And one Game 7 was against Indiana, and the other Game 7 that first year was Riley with the Knicks. So we will put Brunson ahead of everybody since Ewing. We'll put him number 1. I think that makes everybody happy.
Dog, let's be honest here for a second. Watching that broadcast last night, true or false, you would have thought that Reggie Miller was undefeated against the New York Knicks in his career.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
Excellent.
2 of them.
Reggie,
2 of them.
I love Reggie. He scored the 25 in the fourth quarter in that one game in Game 6. He made the 8 points there. Let's take it easy. I mean, Reggie didn't win 20 championships. The Knick nemesis is more Jordan than who beat the Knicks millions of times. It's more Jordan than Reggie. And Reggie loves this. But Reggie's almost taken too much credit for being, the ultimate quote-unquote Knick killer. Take it easy, Reg. Jeez.
Zaslow.
And remember, in the one year when he scored the 25 in the fourth quarter, Knicks led 11, start of the fourth quarter. Reggie had 25. The Pacers lost the series.
Yeah.
They lost the series.
You tell them,
They didn't win that series. They lost Game 6 in Indiana. He had 16 points. I was there for that game, and he did nothing in Game 7. He lost the series. Too much love for Reggie. The idea that he is the ultimate, and I love Reggie, I'm a fan, but way too much love. I agree with you 100%.
We've got to keep passing the ball to Zaslow. He's getting good points from Mad Dog. Let's see if you got more.
Dog, let's be fair here. Rick Carlisle, with the complaining after the game of the officiating, you're not Phil Jackson. Come on.
Good point. Now, he did win a championship.
A 3-pointer!
He did win a championship with Dallas, and he's a very, very good coach. But
You're not Phil Jackson.
He's not Phil. He's not Phil.
That sounded very weak. I mean, he sent 78 clips to the NBA, really, in the last 2 games? Take it easy. I mean, my gosh almighty, please. I didn't like the offensive illegal screen call either, I'll be honest with you. But be fair. Indiana blew 2 big leads.
It
They had a
hurts.
12-point lead last night and a 9-point
At
lead
least-
fourth quarter in game 1.
True.
And he got OGs out
True.
with a hamstring,
Yep.
and Brunson can't walk in the first half, and you still lost the game.
True.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you can also make the idea he should never have taken McConnell out,
Yep.
who is great, and he took him out with 7 minutes left in the game in a 2-point game.
Have a feel for the game, right, doggy?
Good point.
So you can make an argument that Rick wasn't Rat Holtzman these last couple days either. So you can
Okay.
be fair on that, too. Here's what I want Indiana to do.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
Here's what we want Indiana to do. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
All right.
Nose to the grindstone.
You got it.
Come back here 2-2.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me
Nose to
see
the-
you win 2 games at home.
Zip it
That's
up,
what I want
doggy.
to see Indiana
Yeah.
do. Then he can say something.
Yeah.
Let me
We-
see him do that.
we will let-
Philadelphia wasn't able to do it. Let me see him do it.
We will
He's
let
rolling,
you
Dan.
go
I
on
mean,
this
Jesus.
note. We're out of time. We've been out of time for a while.
Love
and
you, dog.
I
One
need to get
appearance.
to a mispronunciation that he had, and I need to get him to explain himself because evidently on air he learned what the phrase jujitsu was.
Quickly, they all had the same lines. Let's go kill Giselle and her boyfriend. That was the whole theme of the whole night. Let's figure out a way. How does Tom Brady, the magnificent, good-looking quarterback, how did he lose his beautiful wife to a jiu-jitsu instructor? How you pronounce it? What's the word? I don't even know. What is it?
Jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu instructor. I mean, that's the whole theme of the night. That she's going out with the jiu-jitsu instructor. And poor Tom, all by his lonesome. That's the whole theme of the night. That's the...
It's why you're the greatest of all time.
I knew what you were trying to say.
I mean, did you guys like that stupid? That roast was awful. Did you guys agree with me or not?
We like the roast.
Let's keep him on for 30 more minutes to talk about it.
I do want to
Yes.
come back next week and we'll talk to you again about it. Good
All
seeing
right,
you,
Dan,
Mad
good to
Dog.
see you guys.
See you, dog.
All right.
Folks, Mother's Day is around the corner, and let me talk to you about 1-800-Flowers. I can't wait. Every year, it's a tradition. I send stuff to my mother, my mother-in-law, and my wife because they are 3 amazing moms. They're better than all your moms out there. You think you have good moms? No, I have good moms in my life. I'm just kidding. This was a little harsh. I'm sure you guys all have good moms too. From your mom to the mother of your children and all the moms in between, this Mother's Day, give back to the ones that have given you everything. 1-800-Flowers helps you celebrate all amazing moms, from homemade bouquets, sweet treats, gourmet food, and one-of-a-kind gifts, ordered easily and delivered fresh. For a limited time, you can save up to 40% off Mother's Day bestsellers at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan. Don't wait. Order today and save up to 40% at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Don Batard.
It's a 3. The crowd goes into a delusion. Winning in the playoffs, not an illusion. It's a heat check, he's on fire.
Stugotz.
Carry us, Jalen Brunson. Comes up clutch, that's why we won. New York knows you are the best. Not the joke no more.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
This man and his fandom, this man and his comedy can run dark. He can run dark, but look at him right now. He is radiant. This is as radiant as you will ever see this man. He's the commissioner of fandom. He was courtside last night. He has shows coming up in Kentucky, Southern California, Atlantic City, Rochester, and Doral. Same time tomorrow is the Netflix special. And these moments for you keep getting sweeter because all the things you believe about heart and grit and underdog play out for you, where you can be scared in the first half, and then what comes limping out of the locker room, tiny little Willis Reed.
I can't act like I wasn't scared. The energy was out of the building. I took my brother last night. We were like, did we just lose Jalen Brunson? He comes back. The building goes crazy. And he was like, settled down. He didn't know if he was ready yet. Somehow Brunson Willis Reeded it on the 54th anniversary of Willis Reed. He pulled a Willis Reed. It was epic. All these complaints from the Pacers, Rick Carlisle saying the officiating's bad. You can't beat the Knicks when we've lost more men than the Korean War. A new Knick is going down every day, and we're still finding ways to win. OG Anunoby, we pray he's okay. We don't know how bad this is going to be. Brunson comes on one leg and beats the Pacers. Stop whining. You're getting stomped.
You have been telling me for months now, since they made the Anunoby trade, that that guy changes everything about what that team was before he got there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 3-and-D guy, but he's more. I mean, you saw what he did last night. It sucks he got injured because that was the OG Anunoby game. He was completely taking over. He was showing you his offensive repertoire. I saw someone post Ice Spice is in the house. He turns into 2019 Kawhi Leonard, and that's what he looked like. He looked freaking great. So, yeah, I mean, we know what OG is capable of, but it's a team effort. You know, Josh Hart has been just the motor all game, every game. Dante shut the lights out. Hartenstein, one of the best passing bigs in the NBA. I mean, Brunson it's like the energy in the building changed. Like, we didn't have anything to cheer for in that second quarter because we were scared. He comes back and he made us believe like he's made us believe all season long.
Sam, here's what I want to know. You're a huge fan, and you're sitting in the front row there, all right, last night at the Garden. How do you not run onto the floor and like hug players? And if I was there, somebody would have to hold me back. How do you control yourself from running on the floor and celebrating after a big shot?
Because I want to go back. That's the only thing keeping me from celebrating. I don't want to pull up crazy. Although Hartenstein came over to try to high five me, and my friend Chris DiStefano was in the way. And Hartenstein DM'd me after the game. I tried to say what's up, but some dumbass was in front of you.
Chrissy D.
I looked at Chris. I was like, you cost me a high five.
Well done.
Okay, so you were in the front row, and here's something I need to understand. If you're in the front row at the Garden, you're big time, obviously. All right. What if your age? I want to know the process of getting the front row at the Garden for a playoff game. Because if your agent calls you and says, hey, I got your tickets for tonight, you're in the third row, you're a loser then, Sam. So what's the process of getting the first row tickets?
Well, I don't care where I sit, man. I sat in the handicap section the other game. I don't care. Like, I just want to be in the building. So I every time I've asked them for tickets, they've said yes. You know, I've known them for a while. I play all their venues, the MSG venues. You know, I did the theater there. I did the Beacon. I've done the Chicago theater. It's all MSG. So I think they're like, oh, he plays a lot of our venues. He's a diehard fan. We like him. So they're nice enough to hook up tickets when I ask, but I don't want to over ask because I'm grateful, right? And I don't take it for granted.
But aren't there like whispers where if a celebrity is sitting in like the second or third, like, oh, look at that guy, he's kind of a loser?
No, I'm turning around and high-fiving everyone in sight.
Yeah, but Sam, you know this is a status symbol.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Garden. You know it is. Like, if the Knicks told you, hey, Sam, we're putting you upstairs, you're not going to the game. I mean, come on.
I was just in the handicap section. You know what I said?
That was Brad's fault, though.
They don't listen.
That was Sam's fault.
Sam,
and that's a decent section, I got to be honest.
Sam, they've been in sports radio a long time. Neither one of them listened.
I'm a huge fan, and I used to sit in the 400s, and I'll still gladly go to the 400s. I just want to be in the building for the madness. I just love the team, so I don't care.
What an everyman.
Let me put up on the screen here this image because Brunson hit a shot early in the fourth quarter, and you see Chris DiStefano between you. You see there's someone reaching out to dap and just to dap Brunson, and he stares at them there. What is happening there? Did you make fun of the fact that Brunson stiffed him there?
Well, here's the thing. That's Chris's friend, Tommy the Cop. That guy's like 350 pounds of pure muscle.
Tommy the Cop.
That guy nearly, like, he would chest bump me, and I was like, I think I broke a rib. Like, this guy's a lunatic, you know? So that's one of Chris's old-timey buddies, and Brunson did the right thing not taking that high five. The force this guy has could have broken a finger or something. So good move from Jalen, just staring us down. We knew what was up.
Sam, enough of Reggie Miller. No? Did you say anything to him?
If I saw him, I would have said what everyone else in the building was saying. I joined the chant, of course, because we all hate Reggie. And the fact that he's calling the broadcast, the fact that TNT is so anti-Knicks, like, I'm sorry, Charles. I don't know what the Knicks fans did to you. We all just love our Knicks. By the way, we're underdogs. They may have chosen the Knicks to win, but not with all these injuries. We lost Mitchell. We lost Boyan. We lost, Julius Randle, of course. And now we don't know how long OG is going to be out. And for some reason, they're just like taking joy in rooting against us. We are badass, and we have heart, and we play with resilience. Show us some respect. What is this anti-Knicks broadcast? I feel like I'm watching like an anti-America broadcast in North Korea or something. This is the Knicks. We got a great fan base.
Let's play some of that sound here for Sam to maximum agitate him.
You know, if the Knicks win, that'll be good.
You care who wins, cut it out.
I don't care who wins, but I will tell you what, I would love to see them get their ass stomped by the Celtics. That'd be great.
Then you care who wins.
I mean, I'm just saying, whoever wins this series is going to get stomped by the Celtics.
Well, you said you'd be happy to see it.
Yeah, because the New Yorkers, y'all deserve it. Because y'all think y'all the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Tell them, Chuck.
Come on, y'all ain't that good in New York.
What else, Chuck?
Come on, man. Y'all overrated.
What else, Chuck?
It's because y'all make good pizza and good bagels.
And what else, Chuck?
And what else, crime?
And hold on, Chuck. Don't forget about the...
So, you know, they can't, I ain't gonna say anything bad about the street meat. You know, I love the street meat.
Yeah, we can tell you love the street meat, Chuck. Why don't you cut down on some of it? Secondly, we do have great pizza and great bagels. I appreciate the compliment. And look, I'm a Charles Barkley fan. How could you not be? But enough with this hatred on New York. I'm sorry. Did it stem from when we swept your ass in the 80s when you played for the Sixers and demanded a trade? Is that when it came from? I don't know why he hates the Knicks fans so much. We've been a starved for greatness franchise, and we finally have greatness in Jalen Brunson. Put some respect on the Knicks' names, Charles. We're doing this injured. We're doing this next man up style. Precious stepped up. Badass game defensively from Precious. Give it a break. And hopefully, I can't believe I'm saying hopefully we get ESPN the next game, but at least maybe we'll have Mike Breen, a great broadcaster, calling the game instead of a putz like Reggie Miller.
Yep.
Get Reggie off the broadcast.
Oh no.
It's kind of like falls flat to be like, New York, what do they have other than really good pizza, really good bagels, really good food carts? It's like you see those memes about Boston that's like, oh, Boston, the weather's terrible, the traffic's bad, but at least the food sucks too. And you never say that about New York.
It's good.
I had great times in Boston, actually. I hate the Celtics, but I don't dislike Boston as a city. I taped my last special in Boston for the new one I just shot. I love Boston, but I will say New York is the best city in the world, and you don't have to agree with me, but even if you don't like New York, you have to admit we're in the conversation. So I don't know what he's talking about. No arena's rocking like the Garden. It's just not.
I do enjoy, though, this is the part that has to hurt you as someone who loves the NBA so much. There is very little better on television than Shaq continually throwing lobs to Barkley until he gets what he wants and then dissolving in laughter when he finally gets Barkley to just say how much he likes street meat.
Look, I love Shaq and Barkley. Like, how could you not love this crew? Like, we don't want this crew to be, and I'm a Knicks fan. All they do is hate on us. All they do is doubt Brunson, and the hatred that they threw at Brunson, it was fuel. I think he just kept getting better because his whole career has been people doubting him. This Knicks team has a chip on its shoulder, so keep doubting us, please. I love it. Keep throwing fuel to the fire. But I can't deny that I don't love this broadcast. It's like they were like the original podcast. They're great together, and I hope they don't get broken up.
The Garden's cool and all, but Amerant Bank Arena last night, Sunrise.
Was lit last night.
6-1.
Ice Cats.
That's right. Panthers took that ass last night. That's right.
All right.
Oh, exactly, dude. Where do they shoot? Atlanta? Go to a Hawks game. Tell me how lit that is. The Garden's where it's at.
I don't think Sam was listening.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Okay, Sam, your shirt. Tell me about how much Knicks gear how much Knicks gear you have. What are you wearing? Anything else these days?
Well, no, not really. I have to decide between all these Knicks shirts. I've had to give some away because I'm moving upstairs in this building. So I'm going through stuff. I'm like, I have too much Knicks stuff. I got to spread the wealth. I've given some out to friends. It's all Knicks stuff all the time.
You're moving on up to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
I'm actually using an alias at the Comedy Cellar right now because they got mad at me because the schedule didn't come out in time for the playoffs. So I would just keep canceling every Knicks game. And they have to email every person who shows up. So I now use an alias in the Comedy Cellar until the playoffs are over.
I like it.
What are your favorite things at the Knicks game outside, like in terms of touches, whether it's, music, anything that they're doing to accent your courtside experience?
Winning
is the best. I mean, we got to say what's up to Frazier last night and that Walt Frazier to me is the coolest dude ever. Like just the outfits, the vibes, the way he speaks. He's so humble. I love Walt Frazier so much. Sabathia, dapped up Sabathia, another New York legend. So I love that. And that song that comes on that's like na 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 na.
Pepas?
That's our song.
Like what we play here?
Come on.
Try the
taking our team.
Cool song. Oh, and whenever they go like, when they hit you with "Go New York, go New York, go," when we go on a run, yeah. I mean, honestly, nothing gets us more fired up than Josh Hart grabbing a loose ball. That's what New York fans love.
It's the best. Yes.
We remember Oak and Charlie Ward just diving into the stands all day. So when we see Josh Hart, just that motor, man. And Hardenstein grabs so many loose balls too. That's why we miss Mitch right now. He was great at that as well. But yeah, we love this team so much. So I get so pumped up.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stressors, big and small. When we keep them bottled up, it can start to affect us negatively. Keeping things bottled up can feel like carrying a weight that gets heavier with time. Whether it's talking to a trusted friend, journaling, or seeking professional help, finding ways to let out your thoughts and feelings can bring relief and help you navigate challenges more effectively. Remember, it's okay to reach out for help when you need it. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Dan Le Batard.
Let's go, Islanders. Bump, 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 bump.
Stugotz.
Let's go, Islanders. Bump, 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 bump.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
When is the last time, and I know I've asked you forms of this before, but when is the last time that it felt this way for you? Because I don't know that there's anything that in sports that would feel this way. I mean, this team, the Sixers series had some of that too, but I'm saying that you have not gotten joy from your fandom with this team, Sam. They've hurt you a lot.
Yeah, I think it's been like 26 years probably. I was definitely pretty young for the last one, but that run we went on last time, we were an 8 seed, so it kind of came out of nowhere. We knew we had Miami in the first round, that Allen Houston floater, and there's something about a rivalry. Whenever it's a rivalry, the seeds don't matter as much. You know I'm right, though. I mean, you see what Miami did to the Celtics last year. Like, when it's two teams that kind of go at each other's throats, I feel like the seeding isn't as important. So we look good, and we had a tough team. That year, just skill, but also like really tough. LJ was really tough. Spree was really tough and skilled.
But Brunson has climbed to the top of your emotional list, correct? Brunson is at the very top of Knicks' positive feelings.
He says every right thing. I mean, I don't think he could handle the press any better. Josh Hart is hilarious with the press. I feel like he's always trolling. I mean, these guys are very lovable. There's something about them. You can't not love this group. They play with a lot of humility. They play with a lot of grit, and I feel like they represent New York City very well. Like, we really love them. And I think this is a basketball town. You walk a few blocks, you can't not see a basketball court. Everyone here plays basketball and loves basketball. So this team just plays the right way. It's corny, but it's true. They really do play unselfishly. They play hard-ass D. I mean, this is what New Yorkers love, and they say all the right things to the press, so we can't not love this team.
I know you showed great restraint by not running onto the floor when you were super excited last night, but if like someone for the Pacers gooned it up and knocked over Jalen Brunson, like, would you run on the floor and make sure that?
Okay, look, if they injured Brunson further, would I Nancy Kerrigan, Tyrese Halliburton? Possibly. I can't say I wouldn't. I mean, that's how it goes, an eye for an eye.
WFAT. Respect. Sam, I have not cleared this with Dan, but if the series gets back to the Mecca for Game 5, if it gets back, I'm thinking I'm coming up here. I'm coming up to the game. I want to go courtside with you. What do you think? Can we make it happen?
I don't know if they're going to give me 2 in a series.
I want Tommy the Cop there.
Would you sit in the handicap spot?
No.
Who's in the handicap spot together?
No,
Tommy the Cop that I did not get a lot of leg room from that guy. That was tough.
But me and you courtside next week? Huh?
Well, I'll try.
All right, good.
You're not going to try, and I don't want you to try, and he embarrasses me all the time. Anytime anyone comes on the show with power, he just asks for things.
If Sam tells me he has courtside, I'll be there. That's all I can tell him.
Nah, we don't know with you.
Debatable.
Stugotz. Yeah,
He
you
just
don't-
told you he doesn't, though, so.
It doesn't matter what you say. Those words are empty and meaningless. Last thoughts
Thank
before
you.
we get you out of here, Sam, on anything that you want to say to anyone in our audience about feeling better about your Knicks than you felt at any point this century.
I feel great, but I am always, I'm not a fan that's like, we got this. I live in fear. These haven't been any blowout games. These have been all close games. We've clawed back every game. I mean, that's why it's hilarious that Carlisle can't stop complaining. It's like, stop giving up big leads. Like Dante's flame throwing you. Brunson's cooking you. Stop whining, Rick Carlisle. I thought he had some class the first game, but this time he's like being a little crybaby. We're all injured and you're still losing. You're missing Benedict Mathurin. We're missing half our team. So maybe if you can't beat us, you shouldn't be here. I think game 3 is going to be a challenge because I don't know if OG is going to play. I don't know about Brunson's health. And I know that arena in Indy is going to be popping, but it ain't going to be the Garden. And Knicks fans will travel to that game.
Sam, your choice here. The Knicks win the NBA Finals this year. All right? Be the first time in your life you've seen it because you're not 1,000 years old. The Knicks win the finals, or you, Sam Morril, sell out the Garden for one of your shows.
I think both are going to happen. I already sold out
Choose
the MSG.
one, Sam. Sports radio. Come on.
Well, but let him finish his thought.
They'll both happen. Obviously, I would rather the Knicks win because I can just do like, okay, if I can't do that, I'll do multiple shows at Radio City in the future. I'll do the MSG Theater. So Knicks winning it all is number one, of course.
You think they're going to win the
It brings such a
championship?
good energy to the city. I go out to 7th Avenue after every game to just be a part of the mosh pit and be a part of the madness and high five Knicks fans. It makes me so happy. So, I mean, if we get this crazy after a playoff win, think of what we will do to this city if we win a ring. I want it so badly. It's good for the energy. Just random New Yorkers on the street during the day going, go Knicks, high-fiving. There's great vibes in the city right now. So I want to keep it going, and I want a championship here. And it feels like Brunson will bring a championship here at some point.
It's crazy to me that you're saying that, though, because you know sports, you know this sport, and you can be as hopeful as you like. But most of the country, let's say the Knicks somehow do get to the championship round, I believe the analysis of most of the country will be what is going to happen to the Knicks in those finals is the same thing that happened to the Heat last year in the finals, where they go to the top end of what they are, but at the end they run into something that's just better.
We're underdogs, but we've been underdogs all along, and you never know what happens. And speaking of your Heat, seems like trouble in paradise, Dan. I mean, Jimmy Butler running his dumb mouth in Cancun, Riley calling him out. I love to see it. I love to see your team in shambles, and soft, fragile Tyler Hero as well.
Okay, good talking to you, Sam.
That's how you do it, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you for being on with us. You nailed the dismount. We appreciate it.
Look at that smile.
Yes, he's very happy. I'm telling you. His comedy runs dark and acidic, but he is a 13-year-old teenager when it comes to this team. I wanted to go back to something that we wandered away from earlier in the show when Chris Russo was on with us. Jessica came into the studio and she was wondering correctly how it is that Chris Russo had happened about the particulars of this mistake. Chris Cody, can you get the long one for me of Chris Russo trying to figure out off of the Tom Brady roast how to say the word jiu-jitsu because he didn't seem to be familiar with it.
How did he lose his beautiful wife to a jiu-jitsu instructor? How you pronounce it?
Jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu instructor. I mean, that's the whole theme of the night. That she's going out with the jiu-jitsu instructor. And poor Tom, all by his lonesome. That's the whole damn theme of the night.
So Jessica came in here and she asked a question that I believe is the right question. And if we had Mad Dog back on, I think he might confirm it, which is, does he think that the martial art is jitsu and that the person participating in it is Jewish?
That's the right question.
At the end, he just says a jitsu instructor. And he before said jiu-jitsu, and he obviously wasn't reading it. He just didn't know what it was. So I was wondering, like, does he think it's a Jewish jitsu instructor?
To a jiu-jitsu instructor. How you pronounce it?
You have the instructor being Jewish and the art being Itsu.
That she's going out with the jitsu instructor.
I think she's right.
I think so. I think he just got scared of it. Stugotz still reminds me every day of the time Barkley came on here and spelled the word Jew. Because he was just
J-J-E-W. I'm like, Charles, you could say the word, man.
He didn't know. But jitsu or itsu. Let me hear it one more time. Is it jitsu or itsu?
How did he lose his beautiful wife to a jiu-jitsu instructor? How you pronounce it?
Jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu instructor. I mean, that's the whole theme of the night. That she's going out with the jiu-jitsu instructor.
Yeah, that Jew is Mr. Steal Your Girl, the Jew Zook instructor.
Hall of Famer, man.
You are feeling how, Zaslow, having crammed down your throat all of this WFAT New York coverage?
I'm fine with it. We all know how it's going to end. I mean, it's going to end with them losing, so whatever. But we're going to get to a place where it's Knicks and Celtics, and my head's going to start spinning, and it's going to fall off like a top because I'm not going to know what to do with myself.
You'll root for the Knicks. That's what you'll do.
I will root for the Knicks.
Right.
I will.
Right.
I will root for the Knicks, and then I will root heavily for the Western Conference.
Your head just spinning on the floor like a top.
Yeah, like a top. I didn't say dreidel. I don't know. Everybody's going to get it. I want to be inclusive, so I said like a top.
Jew. Right.
It is going to be fun, though. We cannot dispute, right, that New York, loud, happy, and obnoxious is something that will lure people, will lure a crowd. And I've just missed this feeling around here. You understand that when LeBron came to Miami, on the spot, I'm screaming in one of those rants, New York, welcome to another decade of irrelevance.
Show? What? Talking about the Panthers.
Pulling up to Mickey D's just for drinks? Oh yeah, that's me. Nothing extra, just perfection and a straw. Coming in hot for the coldest cups on the block. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
Ever combine an ice-cold frozen Coke with piping hot fries? Try frozen drinks any size for $1.49. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.